Alright, in yesterday's video, I told you about cards that you should not be buying. One of the main reasons I said don't buy these cards is because all of them are up for a reprint. Why would you buy them now when they're up for a reprint and you can get them at 50% off, sometimes even more? You should probably wait on any cards that are going to find their way into the tins or the rarity collection. What that does is it takes a lot of cards off of the table that you probably should not be buying. In fact, you should be finding ways to move those cards so that you don't get stuck with them and the bottom drops out of that card. But today, I want to talk about cards you should be buying. If you shouldn't be buying those, what cards should you be moving your money towards? That's what we're going to talk about today. Before I get into that, let me just say, I'm overwhelmed by the support and the love of the community. Honestly, it means a ton to us. And I'm not just saying that. It really does. We are so blessed by just the community here, and it really does touch our hearts. So thank you for all the love, for the new subscribers to the channel. When new sets come out, we open up cases, reveal the cases. We talk about the new set. Should you buy the sealed? Should you buy the singles? If you're gonna buy the singles, what singles should you buy on pre-sale? All of that stuff we do here on the channel. The next set up is Dolus Nexus. So in about 2 weeks, we're gonna start breaking down that set. But again, thank you to the community. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of the channel. We're doing Yu-Gi-Oh content all the time on this channel. So also hit that like button, helps us out tremendously. I do have the results of the giveaway of the Zeus from Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge. So we're giving one of these away for hitting 300 subscribers, and we're moving towards 400. I think we're 13 away. 13 subscribers away from 400. We're going to do a nice giveaway for that. And when we hit 500, that's going to be a really nice giveaway, a higher rarity card. We're doing it. We do a lot of giveaways on this channel. We're giving away this Zeus because I realized that a lot of people in the community really wanted this card. And I told you that the card wasn't going to go down any further than $12. In fact, I thought it would go up, and it is going up. I think this card is sitting somewhere around $14. I would not be surprised you see this card hit $15, $16. It's a very nice printing of it. So the winner of the giveaway of that Zeus is Eduardo OS6VU. So Eduardo OS6VU, you got the Zeus. I'm going to send you a comment attached to your comment on this video, and that will have our address on there, and then you just send me your address to that email, and I will get this Zeus out to you. Still working on getting the addresses for the winners of the IP giveaway. I've got 2 of the people waiting for the other 2 to get in touch with me. So let's jump into this. If you're not buying that large amount of cards that we talked about, if you're not buying Pot of Prosperities, Lightning Storms, and Barons, a whole host of cards, Bestial Lubellions, because they're all up for a reprint, what cards should you be targeting? Well, I'm going to bring it up on TCG Player, and then we can talk about it. So here we go. Bring up that. All right. So I think the first place that you got to look is Power of the Elements. And I know Power of the Elements was released last year. It should be up for a reprint in the tins. But if you remember, this did get an unlimited wave. So there is an unlimited version of Power of the Elements. The first in a long time. It's the only set that got that. In addition to that, when you look at what is in the tins announced from Konami, Power of the Elements is missing. It is not listed in there. I would not be surprised if they did not include Power of the Elements because it got the Unlimited Wave. It's not announced in there. So Power of the Elements is the first set that I think we should start looking at for cards that we should be buying right now. And it immediately brings up Kurikara Divine Incarnate. I think this is a great card. This card is finding its way into the meta. People are playing this card. It's fantastic. It's, people refer to it as reverse Nibiru. You're looking at this card around $50. By the way, when you see this direct from TCG Player, generally do not buy these cards. A lot of people, they just click on this and they think, oh, $59, I'll pay that. If you scroll down, you'll be able to find it for less than that usually. So right here, you're able to get this card. That's unlimited. Let's go down to first edition because if the difference between first edition and unlimited is pretty small, then I generally go with the first edition. And I think you should too. First edition here, my gosh, from a reputable seller, you're sitting at $48. $48 is a great price for this card. Let's look at the chart. I think the chart has it pretty high, and the reason that it has it so high is it is seeing play. People have found out how to use this card, generally a going second card, but you can sit on it. If you're playing it turn 1, you're gonna have to sit on it really till turn 3. So it is bad in that regard, but this is a game changer. You can OTK end the game right here with this card. It's a great card. If you're interested in it, this is a card you go and buy because it's not up for a reprint. This card isn't looking at a reprint for about a year from now. Divine Incarnate, great card to buy. So if you're looking at Bestial Rebellion, or you're looking at Pot of Prosperities, this is this is in that range of those cards. I would just go in and grab this card because it's not going to get a reprint. Great card right there. So you go back in this same set. I think there's another card that is worth buying. I actually think there's two, but there's one main one that I want to talk about, and that is Garuda, the Wings of Resonant Life. This card is 100% dependent upon Super Poly's meta play. If Super Poly is seeing meta play, this card's going to go up. If Super Poly isn't, the card is going to go down. Right now, you're seeing Super Poly not really seeing a whole lot of meta play, although I have started to see it creep back in. But because of that, look at this. It was up, then it's down, then it's up, then it's down. These charts, I love these charts when they fluctuate like this, because what it tells you is that this is a card that sees meta play in various times over and over and over and over again. You can expect this chart to continue through the life of this card until it gets a reprint, because when Super Poly sees meta play, this card's going to go up. When it is out of the meta, the card is going to go down. Why not grab the card now when it is at a pretty low point? When the card first came out, nobody understood it. We were selling the card for $5. But immediately we realized Super Poly Target, great card, it spiked up. Then it went down, then it went back up. But the floor of this card is not $5. The floor of this card is about $12 without a reprint. It is pretty much at the floor at $12.30. I think this is a great buy right now. You only need one, could get two, but I would just grab one. I have two myself just because I like to hoard cards. But you only need one of this card. I would just grab it. It's around, what is it at really? So we're looking at this card around $15, something like that. This is a card that easily goes up to $20, $25. I would get it now. The third card that I just want to mention briefly, it's not really on my list, but this is a card that I have loved since it was announced. I still love it. It hasn't found meta play, but I think that it's only a matter of time. That's Ultimate Slayer. I think this is a great card around $15 to just pick up and to have, you know, some of those cards. If you are considering buying Forbidden Droplets, I would instead move my money to Ultimate Slayers. That's an easy pivot. They're about the same price, and Ultimate Slayer not up for a reprint. Forbidden Droplet is up for a reprint. So Ultimate Slayers, you go down to a year. Look at this, man. You're getting this at pretty much the floor. I don't think it's been much lower than this. It was, you know, a little bit lower than this, but not much. I think it's a great card to go in and just take a chance on it. Try and play it. I've tried to play it a couple times. I'm not a very good player. I've said that many times. So I haven't found much success with it, but many of you are much better players than I am. You can find a way to break this card. And if you do, let me know, because I really want to play this card. In addition to that, the Starlight is not that expensive either. Consider the Starlight as well. Starlight coming in around $140. You can probably get it less. That's what I have from Power of the Elements. Those three cards, Divine Incarnate, Ultimate Slayer, and Garuda. Those are the cards I would be going in on in Ultimate Slayers. But then you come over here to another set of Photon Hypernova, and you've got a card that is kind of like Divine Incarnate, trying to find its way into the meta. A lot of people are playing this card right now. I know the card is expensive, but if you were considering Bystial Lebellion, this is a nice pivot from Bystial Lebellion to Triple Tactics Thrust. I know it's up in price, but this card is good enough to command $80. It really is. Great card. You can get this card right here. What are they, fire selling this thing here? You got one here for $76. You got other ones for $80. It's a good buy. In my mind, it really is. It's not up for a reprint for a long time. I know it's expensive, but this card probably is not going to get a reprint for about a year. So consider that. Don't buy cards that are going to get a reprint in 2 months when you could buy cards that aren't going to get a reprint for probably a year. So I think Triple Tactics Thrust, great card to consider buying. Then you go down here to Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge, which just came out. And this is the giveaway card right here. I think this Zeus is a great card to buy. Zeus is, you all know Zeus is one of the best cards in the game. It's the best XE's card there is. If you don't have it, $15 for one of the best cards in the game is not too much. I know it was 12. You missed the boat on 12, but 15, that's not too much money for a Zeus. If you don't have this card, I would go out and get it. And you can get the Ultras for less than this, I think. The Ultras coming in somewhere around 13, maybe even falling down to 12. I think that, you know, if you're on a budget and you can scrape together $12 for a Zeus, Ultra, it's a nice looking Ultra. It's not as nice as this Secret, but it's a fine card. You can play that. I think Zeus is a great card to buy. The last thing I wanted to bring up is that in these sets, we are in the tins and in the rarity collection, we're getting all kinds of rarities. We're getting collector rares, we're getting ultimate rares, we're getting Starlight rares. And because of that, the Starlight Rares, they're not really Starlight Rares, they're quarter century rares, but that's going to drive the value of Starlight Rares down. We don't quite know what to make of the effect of quarter century rares. It appears as though the ultimate rares are going to be the OCG ultimate rares. And if that's the case, what effect is that going to have on our TCG ultimate rares? I'm not entirely sure about that. Is it going to drive the price of ultimate rares down? I don't really know. Another thing is the collector rares. The collector rares in the OCG are different, and it also appears as though we might be getting OCG collector rares. What is that going to do to our collector rares? Is it going to drive the market down on those? So all of that's kind of up in the air. So what I'm trying to say is if you're buying high rarity cards, a good high rarity to kind of target right now in this period of flux with, what do we do with Starlight's ultimate rares and collector rares? Ghost rares. There's no ghost rares in these sets coming out. And the ghost rares that we have are really, really cheap. Ghosts from the Past 1 is pretty cheap to pick up those ghost rares. You can get a Firewall super cheap. I'm selling a Firewall super cheap. The ghost rares from Ghosts from the Past 2 are criminally cheap. Dark Magician Girl, under 200. If I'm targeting higher rarity cards in this period of this 2, 3, 4 months, where I want to move my money is towards ghost rares because there's not a lot of question marks in that area. I don't know if that's helpful or not. It's just something that I've been thinking about with all these new rarities coming into the TCG. What effect are they going to have? And they could have a negative effect, but ghost rares are pretty much unaffected by all of this. And because the ghost rares are really cheap, it might be a nice place to move your money. Let me know what you think about that. It's just I haven't heard anybody else talk about this. It's just an idea that I've been kind of tossing around here. But that's what I've got for you. There's some other cards that you could consider buying that are not up for a reprint. I think Chaos Angel is a great buy. Excel Synchron Stardust Dragon, that fell to a reasonable price right now. Shadows Light and Duality, I still think are cards that you probably want to have. All these are cards that are not up for a reprint. That's the point. Don't buy cards that in 2 months are going to be worth half of what you paid for it, when you could buy cards that are not looking at a reprint for probably a year. So that's what I got for you today. Congratulations to Eduardo on winning the Zeus. And I'm out of here. Much love to you all. My name's Todd from Code 2 Cards. Let's get out.